current affair which is related with it. I told you from coming financial year budget, there will not be any plan and non-plan. I have not discussed what is this plan and non-plan is all about. Now try to understand that this year, this financial year, which will be over by March 31st, 2017, is the end of our planning exercise. Already planning, try to understand that now there is no planning commission, no National Development Council, it's all wind up. Now what we have is Nidhi Aayog, you know, everyone knows that. But the plan, the 5-year plan which we are started is still continuing, and the present running year is the last annual plan period. So 12th 5-year plan will be over by March 2017. So that the government have decided, since the plan is over, no planning commission is also there. Next year onwards, there will be no plan and non-plan expenditure. So we'll discuss. So now already the concept is clear. What is that? Plan expenditure and non-plan expenditure. Plan expenditure and non-plan expenditure. It's very important for this year. Why? Why this plan and non-plan expenditure is important this year? So we'll discuss what is very simple, plan and non-plan expenditure. See, now see the term. I told you, follow the rule. Your concept is clear from here. What is that? Expenditure. Now be very clear, we are talking about expenditure. We are not talking about receipts. So it's an expenditure. We are talking from union budget perspective. So it is the expenditure of the union government for a particular, we are talking from union budget point of view for a particular financial year. Now what is this plan expenditure? What is this plan expenditure and what is this non-plan expenditure? I told you we were having, it's a Nehruvian model of growth. We had a planned development. We had taken this concept from Soviet Union. We were having 5-year plans. So what we were doing we used to have 5-year plan. There will be a plan will be made for 5 years. And the government will say that in this 5-year plan, the importance is given to this area. We will spend money for this part. For example, the first 5-year plan have given importance to agriculture. So in that 5-year plan, in the first 5-year plan, the government have, so 5-year plan means how many budget? 5 annual budget. So the government will plan that for this 5-year plan, this much of money will be spent for the plan purposes, and the plan purposes will be decided by the government. And this 5-year plan, the amount will be given in the 5 annual budget. So any expenditure made for that year's 5-year plan will be considered as plan expenditure, and the rest of the expenditure, day-to-day expenditure and other, which is not a planned expenditure, will come as non-plan. So we can classify expenditure into two. Earlier in the budget there will be 2 types of expenditure. There is only one expenditure, total expenditure. From the total expenditure, if you add revenue expenditure, one is revenue expenditure and capital expenditure, we are thorough with it. The other is plan expenditure and non-plan expenditure. If you total it, again you will get, if you add plan expenditure and non-plan expenditure, what you will get? The total will be total expenditure. It's only for the, to know that how much fund is being used for planned purposes. Now tell me, interest payment. Interest payment, we will be planning it. The 5-year planning commission will come and plan that this much amount will be given for interest payment. No, it is a non-plan expenditure. Subsidies, non-plan expenditure. See, plan expenditure is that expenditure which is being utilized for the plan purposes. Basically, most of the plan expenditure will be for some welfare scheme expenditure or for creating some assets, or basically for some creating any assets. So be very clear. See, UPSC have given 3 times UPSC have asked question from non-plan expenditure. They are not asked question from planned expenditure, but they have asked question from 3 times they have asked question, and all the 3 questions are same, almost similar question. So be very clear with the concept what is plan expenditure and what is non-plan expenditure. So in the non-plan expenditure, interest payment, subsidies, pension and salary, grants, all those things. See, be very clear. If the grant is given for plan purposes, it will come under plan expenditure. So we will remove grant. So the defense expenses, subsidies, pension and salary, interest payment, all are what? Non-plan expenditure. All are what? Non-plan expenditure. It's there in the material, you just read it. But the important point is that when we talk about plan and non-plan expenditure, this is very, very, very important. The previous year plan, when we talk about plan expenditure, it's the expenditure only for the current plan, not for the previous plan. See, the present 5-year plan is, the 12th 5-year plan period is 2012 to 17, and that's why 17 will be over by 31st March 2017. The plan is from 2012 to 17 is the 12th 5-year plan, and it's the last 5-year plan. Okay, now when we talk about, when we talk about plan expenditure, there will be 11th 5-year plan. In the 11th 5-year plan, the government might have allocated certain vision and some fund have been planned. But what I'm trying to say is, in the planned expenditure, only the current year current 5-year plan expenditure will be considered, not the previous year 5-year plan expenditure will be considered. Making it simple, in the planned expenditure, even in the planned expenditure, present 5-year plan expenditure will be taken as plan expenditure. Previous 5-year plan expenditure will be taken as non-plan expenditure. Anything, even the assets created in the previous plan, if the government is spending for maintaining the previous 5-year plan, that will also be considered as non-plan expenditure. This is a very, very, very important point. What is that? When we talk about plan expenditure, it is the running 5-year plan, not for the previous plan. If it is for the previous plan, it will be taken as non-plan expenditure. So now this plan, it's there in the material, please go and read it, what is plan expenditure and non-plan expenditure. But more than anything is that when we solve this question, you will have more clarity. So we'll solve questions one by one. One is the last question, 95, the year 1995, question number 12. What is the answer? D. Answer question number 10. What is the answer? Then 2014 question. Question number 4. What is the answer? The advantage of solving previous year questions.